parents tonight at 5 o'clock, which is in an hour and 20 minutes, and this is an hour and 20 minutes long, so we'll see.
We're getting a brand new champion. Let's get ready.
Black Dragon starting out on attack, ENCE on defense, long room defense for the start. Capcan coming from Wilkie. He has been playing Capcan through this entire final. It seems to be his operator of preference on defense, and it has actually seen quite a lot of use. We also have a pretty standard setup.
Right here. Okay, let's go. Sorry, misclick. Alright, okay, so Wilkie on Capcan. So a lot of people don't know this. Capcan is probably Wilkie's, or one of Wilkie's favorite operators along with Glaz. He loves the Russian operators. Not a lot of people know that about him, but he loves those Russian operators. Shate on Pulse, and we have Kanto on his bog standard Ela. Obviously, when Ela was released, it became his main from Jaeger instead. Panari on the bomb site as Mira with Boonsy 2. So, ENCE are running 3 people on the bomb site. Shate is playing inside of the electrical closet. He's going to give some quick early information as to whether it's a blue rush. Obviously not going to be a blue rush. 2 players spawning outside of the front door. 3 people spawning towards the junkyard. So this is a west to east clear, as it is dubbed. So you clear from the west to the east. And the first challenge will be Kanto. So it is a drone bandwagon, a drone train to try and find as many roamers as they possibly can. And then they'll try and collapse in on them and push them. So well aware that there is a Capcan in this match, PZD is going to start removing some of those Capcan traps. And that's really, really important. Obviously, those Capcan traps make a big impact. And they do have reinforcements on the kitchen, so they do have a little bit of solid ground to stand on here, Kanto and Wilkie as well. Shate is going to be playing towards the main stairs. That's going to help prevent any pushes from the main lobby behind them. Very, very important. Very open area where you can get flanked from in the kitchen, as typically not a lot of teams do play a player on that main stairs looking out for that kind of rush. So they're going to find Kanto immediately, and this is really, really big for Kanto. Like, he needs to not get picked, he needs to waste time, and he needs to make sure that he does something. But his presence is good enough. He's drawing a lot of attention, and he's allowing Wilkie to go unnoticed as the... Never mind, not unnoticed anymore. Wilkie is essentially really pinned down right now. Wilkie doesn't have anywhere where he can go. We got Psycho above making holes as Glaz. And Black Dragons are scared right now, which is very uncharacteristic of them. They're not usually this passive when it comes to pushing people. So Kanto gets the first person through the hatch. He's going to pick up PZD as well. And he's going to pick up Julio. And he almost gets Wag. Look at Wag's HP. 1 HP on Wag. You breathe on Wag, he dies. But that allows Wilkie to get picked off as well at a rush by Kamikaze, which is huge. So it's a 1 for 3 trade. 1 for 4 trade. So they really fucked that up. They pushed Kanto 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. Which is one of Black Dragon's... That just doesn't seem like a Black Dragons thing for me. Like, Black Dragons typically push like a big fucking group. They always over-encumber the player that they're trying to push. They outnumber him, outgun him, kill him, move on. That's how Black Dragons have always done everything that they usually do. And you can hear Kanto sprinting. He wants his ace. And Wag is going to save KD. Fucking feels bad, man.
Can Kanto get him in time? No! Wag is going to deny him the ace, but Kanto gets them all anyway, and ENCE takes round number 1.
Wow, I feel cheated. I feel absolutely cheated as a spectator that Cancer Kitty did not get that ace. He was set up perfectly for it. You saw there, Boonsy called to
So, what went wrong for Black Dragons? Well, Kanto got 4 kills. You can't let Kanto get 4 kills. They pushed him 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 in the kitchen, leading to him getting a 3k, then to the 4k later on in the round. So the first kill that he got on Psycho was like a whatever. Okay, you got picked off through the hatch. It's you don't expect that. That's a freebie for Kanto. That's a misplay. Kanto can have it, whatever. Afterwards, PZD runs in to try and refrag alone. And Julio tries to peek the hatch above after PZD's died. It wasn't coordinated, it wasn't timed together, and they both lose their 1v1s versus the 50 bullet gun. You know, the gun is nuts, by the way. And then finally, Buck and Kamikaze pushes him really late into the round. Oh, and Boonsy gets the kill from the washing machine. So that's Psycho off the board as well.
That is going to start you off really, really well. You've lost your Valkyrie, and the only question is, was he able to get all those Valkyries?
So, yeah, things looking really good for ENCE right now. They get the first pick, completely random wallbang from Boonsy, so that's a huge confidence boost. It's a huge morale boost. On top of that, Kanto's on fucking cloud 9 right now, because he's fucking just got a 4K in the previous round. Like, this is ENCE at the peak. This is the best ENCE we will probably ever see. The question is whether they'll be able to keep up this kind of gameplay. So we have two Black Dragons members towards the master bedroom, one inside of the kid's bedroom, and you've got one roamer somewhere. I think he's in tower. Yeah, he's in tower, but he does have rotates between the two. I wouldn't put my Ella in tower. The reason why I wouldn't put Ella in the tower is because of her gun. Her gun's not good at this kind of range. I would definitely probably favor putting a Jaeger in there because his gun is an actual carbine. It'll deal a lot more damage if he tries to go for any outside peeks. Ella's not a good long-range spawn peeker. She's much better at those close-range fights where she can overpower an opponent with a flurry of bullets. Wilkie's going to go for a Kobe throw of the drone. Misses it, obviously. And now it's really slow, because this is what Black Dragons want at this point. They have to slow it down, and they need to get picks. And here comes the first pick, as Shate is not looking in the right direction, and he's going to get picked off. But he thought he had Boonsy covering him, but the angle wasn't there for Boonsy to be able to get that kill. And now Boonsy needs to take his position. Yeah, Boonsy has to take his position at this point if he wants to try and get anything done. Wilkie could sacrifice a smoke grenade into the window and give him some cover, but that's going to defeat the purpose of him as Kanto's going to work his way up the white stairs. And that's a trade as well from PZD and Wilkie, which is really unlucky from PZD. He should have had Wilkie there bang to rights as Wag is going to hold the pixel peek from the sleeping bag corner onto the white stairs, not going to get the frag. And Julio makes an aggressive peek, mistimed with his teammate who was rotating around. No refrag going to happen, and now it's Wag in a 1 versus 3. So Black Dragons lose this round because they get picked off one by one by one by one. And that is the story of this game. It's like the roles get reversed. Black Dragons lose fights because they push one by one, leaving players in clutch situations like this. Boonsy on a slither of HP, gets breathed on, going to die, but it's not really going to matter at this point because they have an incredibly strong crossfire set up on this diffuser. And Wag would have to pull out a miracle play to win that round.
A great shot there from Boonsy. And it is going to be another ENCE round. They seem to be walking away with this right now. Black Dragons struggling to get their feet on the ground. 0-2.
Alright, okay, so 0-2. Now Black Dragons running a Ying and a Glaz, so this is very telling about what their strategy is. Obviously, they're going to go for some kind of smoke and plant strategy. Smoke, flash, plant. You know, pretty basic shit. We saw this from Infamy pretty much all season. It's one of the main reasons why they did qualify the LAN event. They were very, very efficient at that general play. It is very counterable, though, and generally only works once, maybe twice if you change a few things up. But yeah, Black Dragons drones right now, looking around, trying to get some scouts, some info. Got a tower drone, 2 tower drones, beg pardon, as Black Dragons move a second one over there. And 2 drones towards the small tower here to on the junkyard. 1 camera I can't quite see, probably towards the main door. Rotate hall into the bathroom from the kitchen. Floor open up on default plant. Pretty standard stuff from ENCE. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing worth really mentioning too much. But it's the Black Dragons lineup that we really want to try and focus on right now. Julio and Psycho, Smoke, Ying, Glaz, Flash, and Plant strategy. But they're all spawning a tower, which is the unusual thing here, because tower spawns indicate indicate either a late master push or a kid's bedroom push, which typically isn't very strong in the current meta. It was very strong previous seasons, but right now it's heavily countered because we've just seen it so much. We just know how to counter it at this point. You put people below, you put people dancing around the bomb site, you play people aggressive on the windows, you jump them outside, you trade yourself, you make it harder for them to have their primary or their ideal execution lineup. Like if you jump outside and kill the Glaz or the Ying, that's a worthwhile 1-for-1 trade, or any day of the week, especially if you pick that Glaz, especially if you get Glaz. But yeah, like Black Dragons now spent a minute droning for information. They've gotten tower, they've gotten the entry into the building as they would have liked, and they've got it completely uncontested as well, because Kanto's not even going to try and rotate over there. He's going master bedroom, and the reason why he's going to go master bedroom, or at least towards that area, is, oh, never mind, he's just going to flank. Okay, Kanto's around the main lobby. There is a drone around there, so he needs to be careful. He needs to try and dodge that drone. And that's going to be very telling as to how the round is going to go, is they have a claymore already on the ladder as well. So that means Kanto's flanking abilities are going to be severely limited. They do have Wilkie below on Pulse, but I think he is alone predominantly. Yeah, Kanto's going to rotate through the basement, which is going to be the way that he wants to do this. ADS is going to soak 2 of those Ying devices. That's really bad. Like, where's the Thatcher grenade? Where's the flashbangs? That was really poorly coordinated from Black Dragons. They just lost 2 of the Ying devices for no fucking reason. Wilkie's still completely alone downstairs, and he's only getting the attention of 1 player, which is PZD. Kanto's dancing around downstairs as well. Like, yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Black Dragons. PZD gets picked off as he tries to turn around, tries to spin around. Psycho's going to try and come refrag, but Wilkie's going to have none of that. And still, they have absolutely no ground gained. Nothing. Not a single thing in towards kids. Like, Wilkie is still in the room. Shate lost a bit of HP. Here comes Wilkie. So he's going to kill Kanto. Sorry, Kamikaze, beg pardon. And that's a huge pick, because he gets away completely unscathed as well. And here comes the smoke plant finally coming out, but it's too late. Wilkie's below. He has the nitro. He blows it early. He shouldn't have done that, but this is so risky. He jumps into a smoke grenade. He's going to get pushed down. He's a team killed, in fact. And Kanto just runs in to clear things up. And look, it's Wag alone again for the 3rd round in a row. Wag in a 1 versus 2. And he runs out of time again. This is really typical of how Black Dragons play, is that they always run out of time. They always play too slow, too scared, tail between the legs, and they run out of time. They are too scared of ENCE. They are giving ENCE too much respect in these rounds, and they're not putting enough focus on clearing out the fundamentals. If you want to push kids, you gotta clear below. If you want to push into the fucking dorm room big window, you gotta have a guy on the white stairs window below, so you don't get nitroed there. At least repel a guy on the kids' window as well, so they can't just dance around and what have you. That was really, really poorly done round for Black Dragons. They were all over the place, very wishy-washy, very up and down all around. They didn't have a plan. Or if they did have a plan, it got completely destroyed and they didn't make a new one. Get my chat open, because I believe one of you lovely people. No, thanks to the resub, man. 3 months in a row. Welcome back, mate.
Boo them against Font, which I thought was the most interesting thing. They played a Brazilian team and they did not boo the opponent. Right. That is a great sign of respect. And ENCE have been around this scene for so long, it's no surprise.
Alright, yeah, on to the next round. So ENCE running a Capitao with the Glaz instead of a Ying. So this is obviously telling of a default plant towards the washing bins or the main stairs or the washing machine. Pretty typical way of trying to plant on this one. Ooh, so now Shatter has a lot of information from that. He saw a defender run past him, so he can tell his teammates immediately there is a player on the west side of this map.
What a mistake there. They dropped the diffuser inside of Junkyard. That is a big miscommunication and will actually cost them quite a lot of time.
So it's a kitchen defense, or an extended kitchen defense, I should say. Player inside of the bathroom, 1 player towards default box and kitchen. Pretty standard stuff. We see this a lot from a lot of the European teams. A lot of teams do this, but it is a echo. So he's going to have a lot of information off of this. You can see Kanto, And Kanto could get picked off really quickly here as long as he gets echoed and pushed at the same time. That is something that Black Dragons can do. It is an option that they can easily abuse, but they're not doing it. Why? Why are Black Dragons not making plays on information that they can abuse? And the answer is Black Dragons are scared. They are too scared of being pushed from behind. They're too scared of being pushed from the sides. ENCE aren't even in the building. The only player is Kanto, and he's next to a door that leads to the outside. You know, he's barely in the building. Only now has ENCE actually made a move into the room, as Wilkie gets picked on the first one outside. So Glaz is gone, and that's a huge pick. It is a great pick, in fact, for Black Dragons. And now Kanto, feeling that he's got the freedom and the space to do whatever the hell he wants, he's just going to remove the barbed wire. And guess who's stuck in there? Yeah, he does have a rotate hole into meeting room, but not for long. Like, if they keep delaying, he's going to get pushed in the side. Kanto's already pushed around to the left side. He is going to get shotgun from above. But now Boonsy's behind him. He can't escape. PZD also trapped. And he gets killed for it. Boonsy takes a 180 flick headshot. They do ignore Kamikaze, which is rather strange. Wag is also upstairs, and the plant's going down already. Chate's going to try and plant the diffuser, and he's going to get taken down for it. But he's going to trade back immediately. And there he goes. They managed to win the round. So what went wrong? Okay, so both teams really played that weird. So Black Dragons did not take advantage of the information that they had that they could use for free. ENCE played that incredibly slow, incredibly passive, and could have abused a lot more. Like, you saw Kanto only removing barbed wire so late into the round. Like, why didn't he just ash it immediately? Like, you know, if he really was cautious of a Jaeger device, he could just throw a flashbang. Oh god. Blitz. Alright, okay, Blitz. Okay, sure. But anyway, ENCE played that way too slow, Black Dragons played it way too passive. It was like two people looking at each other through a pane of glass. You know, no one can do anything to the other one, or no one wants to do anything to the other one. They're just looking at each other. Nothing's happening. And because of the way that the clock works, time is always on the defender's favor. So ENCE are against the clock, and they don't even need to push anyone. They just need to beat the timer. But they lost to the timer, so they had to push early. And they got shot in the back because they had to ignore two roamers that just came up behind them and shot them in their ass. So Black Dragons run Blitz for some reason. Let's see what they do with it whilst they take a swig.
They are going to be contested by a meeting hold from ENCE. They aren't trying to extend themselves all the way into the kitchen, and I think that's wise, given that it is a little bit too much exposure. And in this case, we don't really need ENCE to
Alright.
do that.
So it's a west to east clear with a Blitz on point. So the Blitz is very strong right now in the current TTS. When played correctly, that is. Obviously, the pistols now are very, very strong, very, very impactful, easy to control, so on and so forth. And the Blitz buff as well is also made it so that he's very viable. He's quite viable now. Wag opens the hatch, and oh look, it's a Glaz. No surprise there, he's putting a suppressor on it. And now Chate gets naded. So Chate playing really aggressive there. No Jaeger on ENCE. Obviously hindsight, but you can't really play in that corner. You are going to get naded, as I think a player just immediately took his position. Yeah, Panari. See, yeah, Panari rotated immediately to that mirror window. I don't know why, though. Sorry, excuse me. He did rotate away, thankfully. Here comes a Nitro. Mistimed PCD is going to get away from that as it blows up. Really unfortunate timing on that one. It's going to run away because of it. The reason why this is so bizarre for me, what ENCE is doing right now, is because they've given up meeting with a minute left on the clock. So there's a minute left on the clock. They can easily just go for a default plant. Or they could push the B-bomb site now. They have glass, they have smokes, they have a lot of opportunity to do whatever the hell they want. Like, they can plant right now. Wag should be planting right now. But it's too late. Because Glass is now dead. And now it's too late, you know? Boons is going to get a couple of shots onto Kamikaze. Not too much damage is done. And here comes the B push now. This is what I'm talking about. A rotate into B at a later round is really, really strong because there's not much you can do about this. And hey, it's a pushing blitz. Point blank. What can you do? The answer is nothing. So, yeah, cool. ENCE played it weird in the meeting room. They gave up meeting room without a fight. They didn't try and hold angles. They didn't try and contest. They just gave it up, which is really cool and all. Like, yeah, they wasted 2 minutes, but they could have wasted 30 seconds more. If they had wasted 30 seconds more, then yeah, sure. I would have said it was a successful extended defense, but no, unfortunately not. It wasn't successful. They gave up meeting, which allowed them to rotate into a B push. And when the clock gets low, a B push gets powerful. Because you can deny an A push by the smoke grenades and what have you. Like, you can't plan if the smoke is still alive or you have less than 30 seconds left. Which is why rotating into a B attack is always the favorable thing to do, especially when there's a minute left or 30 seconds left, beg pardon. And when you're running a blitz, that close quarters area, you can just sprint around because there's a lot of waist high cover. Blitz can just sprint around, just start flashing people and shooting them with his pistol. And there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing at all. You saw right there, he entry fragged 3K as Blitz. What? That's unheard of. Maybe a year ago, like year 1, season 2, when Youngters did it, sure. I would have said, yeah, it sounds like year 1, season 2 Youngters. No, this is fucking year 2, season 3. This is more than a year later. Blitz is back in the meta. Even more so now. Like, I know teams that really like to run Blitz. This is before the TTS. Teams were running Blitz. Now they're definitely running Blitz. I'm scared. I'm actually scared. Like, good blitzes are scary. So now teams are actually going to have to come up with ways to defeat a blitz, which is not easy, because a good blitz will never put themselves in a situation where they can just get picked. So now it's a kids and dorms defense for Black Dragons. And everything's really slow for the first minute. Nothing really happening, just basic droning, getting information, getting set up. There's a mirror window there, pretty default for Black Dragons. They've opened up the wall into generator from the kids. So the mirror window can see through into the generator room. So you can get a little bit of an angle into there, a little bit more defense for it. Kanto can get the mirror window open though from that position. And he called out exactly where Julio went. He's going to take some shots in his shoulder, some shots in his shins. Kanto's just going to spray the rest of his mag because fuck it. And now things get a bit scary for Black Dragons as Chate is going to get the entry pick onto PZD as he turns his back. Kanto fucking psychos against Psycho. 180 flicks to kill Psycho. That's really fucking unfortunate for Psycho there. Dying to something that made him quite popular beforehand as Wilkie entry frags and Kamikaze and whiffs it all. And gets him with a pistol, almost team kills Kanto there as he flicks towards him. And it's now it's very clear that this is a master bedroom push, and Wag is just chilling. Wag is chilling inside of the attic right now, and Julio plays very aggressive towards the mattress, which is really risky. It can pay off, and sometimes it can really screw you over. Boonsy gets killed, and that's your Thatcher down. Not a big impact player. Yeah, Shutter gets killed as well. But, yeah, usually Boonsy in that situation is a flank call. The diffuser gets planted. And there's the glass getting into effect. Wilkie's is going to spam it through the wall because he saw a shade of colour out of place. And now, hey, look, it's Wag versus 3. Not seen this situation before, have we? So now he has to win a 1 versus 3 clutch. It's not happening.
couple shots. Wilkie is
And there you go. Wilkie gets the final frag. Wag. This game is literally Wag versus the world.
people thought unthinkable.
And certainly seeming on fire today, and they have put themselves in a spot where it looks like they might actually win their first LAN ever. Now, a reminder for those of you who don't know, and we've said it before, but I feel like it should be stated.
So now we're on a 4-2 lead for ENCE. Nothing special coming out of the ENCE lineup. Black Dragons once again trying to force that Ying and Glaz combo. They might be changing. Nope, no, just confirming it here. Yeah, they are going to run a Ying Glaz combo once again. And this so far has not worked out for them, so maybe third time's the charm, second time. I can't remember how many times they tried to force the strategy, but they're trying to force it again.
They are looking for the prize that they have been chasing after for oh so long. And Black Dragon.
And yeah, this is getting pretty unfortunate for Black Dragons, as they're sort of losing a lot of their attacks and a lot of their defenses to basic things. Like, they're playing very alone. They're having the same problem that Penta had. They're playing very alone.
ENCE has been good on both defense and offense. There was a string of Black Dragons plays that were able to allow them to capitalize.
So
And now
we'll have to see what ENCE change or keep the same on this round. So a lot of barbed wire towards the white stairs, pretty typical for these kind of defenses. You know, typically you see a lot of teams push from the west, but it doesn't matter because Black Dragons are pushing from construction. All of them.
Defense, I'm not sure what their plan is here. It's likely clear out tower, then push in and smoke through the main B site windows. Once you've done that, do what you said, go in for a plant. However,
so yeah, Kicks kind of put exactly what I was thinking into mind, like when I'm looking at this, is like, typically when you spawn tower, it's because you want tower control, you want attic control. If you have attic control, it means no one can shoot you off of the kid's windows. Having attic control when you're, for example, pushing a big dorm window, for example, means jack squat. It doesn't mean anything at all having attic control. So that means that you either have to do a master push, or you have to do a kids push, or you're wasting your time. There is no point having attic control if you're not doing one of those two things. So we'll have to see what Black Dragons wants to do. Kanto gone unnoticed into the garage, so he can go for some kind of late peek outside. Thatch Grenade goes towards the big dorm window. And we'll have to see what Black Dragons really wants to do with this situation, because like I said, they can't be going for a big window take. There's no point going for a big window take at this point. They have wasted a minute and 20 seconds. Minute and 30 seconds, and they have gained something irrelevant.
I really don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to analyze it. I don't know how to look back on stats and say, well, this, and this, because it's not there. It doesn't.
And Black Dragons, once again, now they've got the special tower control. They're not doing anything. They're not taking any more ground. They're not pushing anything. They're doing nothing. They're all just stood outside on the windows, opening things. They're hoping, they are wishing for ENCE to peek into them. But ENCE aren't going to give it to them. Here comes the first grenade. It gets a really good pick onto Boonsy from Julio. The grenade would have gotten him. And there's the first kill. ENCE shouldn't be peeking into this, but I think he got picked off by an unfortunate angle. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Wilkie pushes in. Ooh, really close stuff from killing PZD. And now finally, Black Dragons are making some kind of move inside, but it's too late. It's all for nothing. 35 seconds left on the clock, and now it's a 4v4, 3v4, and 2v4, 1v4. And it's Wag in a 1 versus 3 again.
He takes down Shate, but he's got a tiny bit of health to go up against Panari, Wilkie, and Kanto. He's going to try to pick away at that diffuser, but he's got 10 seconds.
He thinks it's planted.
He's going to hide in the bathroom. Does he not know? He's going to shoot away at it.
I'm guessing at this point he doesn't understand that the diffuser...
I don't think that the diffuser wasn't planted.
The diffuser was not planted. Wag made a huge mistake.
Bit of an anticlimactic ending, an error by Wag. I don't...
That's also the second round that Wag has essentially saved his op, and I'm not sure what's going on with his thought process there. A little bit of, well, not a little bit of a mistake, a huge mistake there by Wag. Nowhere near his team, unable to.
So yeah, that is.
And then more importantly, when it
that is map 1.
A fight.
So let's skip on through.
Every time ENCE finds somebody,
So here we are. Now Charlotte. Excuse me.
Sure, they might lose a player there, but there's always immediate refresh.
So Black Dragons running a Ying and Glass combo once again. Nothing special there. Psycho gets the leading frag onto Shete, who is playing inside of Trophy without a shield. So this is really common to play a shield inside of there. No shield means you get picked up from the drone hole. Big misplay from ENCE. At this point, you probably just sacrifice Shate's barbed wire for a shield at this point, or Jaeger's barbed wire for a shield, because you have to have a shield if you want to play in Trophy safely. There is no safe place, true safe place in Trophy, but having that shield gives you some room to breathe. So big misplay from ENCE there, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows how this goes down, how the story of this match plays out. So we'll definitely have to see how this happens step by step.
Sure, but as you can see here from Black Dragons, they're going to use their vertical control to open up these holes.
So 1 minute 30 off the clock, 4 versus 5 in favor of Black Dragons. And they have all of the land, all of the areas, the rooms that they want. Late rotate from Wilkie. I think he gets heard or droned out. But he's very low, and it's probably going to try and get reset by Kanto. And Panari makes an overly aggressive play, peeks into a Blackbeard, pays for his life because of it. And now it gets a bit scary because there is that hole above inside of the bathroom that does see down all the way down West Lobby. It's going to stop rotates. I don't think anyone's on that hole right now. But like I said, Boonsy in this position here is not safe. If Black Dragons rotated a player to hold the staircase, Julio could go below and just start bucking the floor out below him and make it even harder for him. And they really want to jump in through this window. Typically, you don't want to jump in through the window. But when you have a glass like this, it's much easier to do so because you just smoke it off and push inside. And yeah, Kanto makes an aggressive push inside and gets picked off because of it. And now it's all on Wilkie. Throws up the Nitro here. It technically shouldn't get the guy on the podium, but it does get the guy on the podium, so you can't complain. But Julio's waiting for him. So almost Wilkie. Nice try. Good Nitro. But gets caught off by the flank holder.
Very necessary victory at that. They needed the lead in the early game, if nothing else, for the moral support. It's really an important thing at this level of play with this crowd who has been so much more quiet than we're used to. I think that Black Dragons really needed to give them a reason to cheer. Now, Kitchen Trophy, defense for Black Dragons.
Okay, so Black Dragons running nothing strange. Mute maybe the unordinary one here. But it is a bar defense, so we'll have to see how this one goes. We saw them pull it out against Penta with good success. We'll have to see how ENCE deals with it as I attempt to close my curtains with my left hand. Can't believe it's dark already in the UK. I hate this time of year just for that. It's bloody dark and it's only 4:15. Alright, hold on guys, close me curtains. Alright, there we go. So Valkyrie cameras from Psycho, probably going to get thrown outside and all around the place and what have you. I've noticed that Black Dragons really like having these windows open. And that's because they want to look for runouts. They want to do the runouts. They want to jump outside, play aggressive, do fucking Brazilian things. You know, that's what the Brazilians do. They're aggressive as fuck. And now it all comes down to whether Kanto can find some of these cams that have been thrown outside, but I think he's giving up a little bit too soon on the cam front. It is on the right on the tree. You do see the camera just there briefly. But Kanto will not find it. He's not looking for those cameras. He's just sort of assuming that he's done his job at this point, and that's really unfortunate. This camera has gone... Oh, I think he just got it. I think he just got it. I was about to say that the camera went unnoticed a lot in the previous game. So he's doing a cooked nade from below. It's going to blow up just below Kamikaze, but because of the way that the floor structure is, it's not going to deal any damage to him because there are like a lot of solid pillars that are bulletproof in that floor. So the explosion won't travel through and kill him. And yeah, right now ENCE looking for some like top floor control because that is like kind of key when it comes to attacking bar and gaming. You need a bit of vertical control. especially if you're going to let them have all of this uncontested. And what Shatter does here is very important. You should always Ash open the side of that wall because it makes nading that player 10 times easier. A good nade comes out, but no one's really going to take too much damage from it. And yeah, this is where ENCE have slowed things down a lot. Wag gets a good C4 onto Kanto. That's pretty big, and it allows them to get the opening frag 1 minute 30 into the round. But ENCE are kind of slowing things down, like they don't have a player outside the front. Wilkie could fulfill that role of the player outside the front, but he's not going to do that. Shatter gets picked off next by a player from the basement. And only now do they decide to Habana the window. Only now, which is a huge misplay from ENCE. They could have done this right at the start of the round. Typically with those mirror windows, you want to try and Hibana them on the lower half of the mirror window, because then you get it a little bit below so they can't crouch below the hole that you've made, and it makes it harder to hide behind that destroyed wall. So now ENCE has bar gaming, and he's going to come up to Thermite Wilkie. He gets picked up because no one is watching Fireplace Stairs. And this is all ENCE mistakes. Really good capitalization by Black Dragons, but it's all ENCE mistakes.
As you can tell from the roar of the crowd, very happy locals. Now, Black Dragons have seemed much more in sync on Chalet. ENCE not so much. There's a lot of hiccups happening on their side of things. The covering from the main lobby, in this instance from the attackers, didn't really accomplish anything. They opened up that mirror window, but they didn't relocate any of the defenders in any meaningful way because they weren't pushing from the offices or the mats.
1 second, sorry guys. Just gotta sort something out.
They didn't really get anything with their nades, so their utility in terms of explosion.
Me neither, Rasalad. Me neither.
As you can tell, crowd really wants Black Dragons to continue this.
Alright, excuse me, as I almost knocked my mug off the table. So now it's Trophy Kitchen again. This time, Shate is playing Legion instead of the Doc. I'm not quite sure whether he has a shield or not. He should have a shield if he's learning from his mistakes. Yeah, here he goes. Shate places the shield down. Now, where he's placed the shield, I don't like placing the shield there. I like to place it a bit further back. I like to place it in the doorway, because when you place it in the doorway, it gives you a lot of free movement in that area when you're rotating between the two bomb sites. So if it's in the doorway, you can also have pixel peeks onto the west lobby stairs from like the hatch in the corner. Like there's so many cool angles you can get with that shield if you place it properly. That yeah, I don't know. I don't like that shield like directly in the drone hole. So this Claymore here is going to be pretty important for Wag. The reason why he places it is so he can drone without getting run out on. And that's super important in the early rounds. Is like you can catch a lot of players, especially on Chalet. I've noticed that a lot on Chalet. You can catch a lot of players off guard droning outside of the building very easily because it's always around the corner. Like if you're ever doing a run out and you see no one immediately, it's always around the next corner. So yeah, Wilkie's looking for runouts right now. He's trying to find picks on people outside. I don't know why he ran out. I didn't see anyone there. Kanto's going to go for a roam across. He's going to get called out and spotted, and Julio goes for the pick and wins the gunfight. So Kanto, not able to get across before he's been identified. You can make it across there without getting ID'd. You can. But I think Kanto didn't get a sprinting start on his initial vault. So which is why he gets revealed for about half a second before he gets into the room. Bit unfortunate. He could have won that gunfight maybe if he drop-shotted or played it a little bit more evasively. Instead, he just tried to win the gunfight with brute force and less dancing, less like fancy toe dancing. So here comes a Nitro. It's a really good C4, but it's only going to hurt Kamikaze because he's really far back.
So not necessarily a waste of utility there from Wilkie, but potential not quite hit.
Now there's a minute on the clock. Black Dragon's in the driver's seat of this round. They've picked off Kanto, like the impact player. And the Buck is still alive, and Buck is doing his job up above. Wilkie and Panari chilling out inside of the dining room towards the double doors. And Boonsy's going to get picked really, really early on into the late stage of the round. Like, you know, just as like the end game of the round is started, Wilkie and Panari are a non-factor. Boonsy's been killed. It's up to Shate at this point as the rest of the push is coming towards him. So this is going to get real spicy soon. ENCE are in a position where they will not win the round, no matter what happens here, especially when that happens. So it's a smoke drop from not Blackbeard, beg pardon, from Psycho. Psycho gets a quick triple kill, which is super strong for the morale. Basically, like, you smoke the hatch, you drop down, you get the picks, and like I said, like, you could have easily had Wilkie or Panari flank out of sight, go up the fireplace stairs, and rush across and try and get something done. Both of them hanging out in dining room towards the double doors really got nothing done in that situation. Like, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are outnumbered and you're waiting for your opponent to make the next move, then you're probably going to lose because they always have a numbers advantage to trade better than you. Even if Psycho got one kill and got return fragged by Panari, Panari would have gotten return fragged by the Habana, leaving Shate alone in a 1 versus 2 or a 1 versus 3, which you're just not going to win.
To answer your question, I have a feeling, or no, I don't have a feeling.
So Black Dragon's now defending the exact same bomb site as what ENCE just defended. Going to see once again a million cameras thrown outside by Psycho, give his team as much information as possible as his mouse mat is made of pure ice and his sensitivity is over 9,000. So ENCE running a Ying but no Glaz this time, opting for a little bit more practical flashing rather than smoke play, but does have the opportunity to do kind of similar smoke plays as previous rounds. And Kanto now has to find these cameras. I don't know whether he found the cameras or not. Wag's going to shotgun the window, put a little bit of pressure on the players outside, make sure that they have to keep some concentration on it. Grenade through the drone hole. Not quite sure why they do that. No one's really playing there. There was no shield there. And this is a really interesting ash spot from Shate. This has been sort of like kept secret for quite some time, over a year, but you can ash the barbed wire underneath the B window from below there. Not a lot of people know about that, but it is very, very strong, especially when you do rushes. Like, you put your ash under there, you ash the barbed wire, you open the window, and 4 people jump inside at the start of the round, for example. That is a very strong rush tactic.
Or even any open doorway, and be able to punish those who don't check beforehand. Now, ENCE had a relatively prolific drone game.
So, once again, we're seeing the standard meta on Chalet right now be take top floor.
But it's that raw aim potential.
So the question is how do Black Dragons want to beat this? Well, Black Dragons had the perfect answer for the Penta version of this in the previous game. They had Nitro upon Nitro upon Nitro and Capcan traps, all to prevent people from being upstairs. And right now, Black Dragons aren't doing what they did before. Like, obviously, we know how this match turns out. We know who wins this round if you've watched the match. But Black Dragons could have won this round so much easier if they had just played the previous strategy with 3 Nitros on site, Capcan traps above, and then a loose Roma in library, which they've got now. Wag, however, gets the entry frag. That is an outside peek. He spots someone outside, stood still. Panari gets the next frag, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. But now upstairs has been infiltrated. They're in office. They have office control now. Nitro's open the wall. Psycho also through the floor as well at the exact same time. And now it's just a huge rush. Kanto right now has the diffuser, pushes, and dies, which is one of the main reasons why they lose this round. He went too aggressive. He could have just planted and had his teammate hold, but they didn't. I mean, there's very little you can say about that other than Kanto threw that round by playing aggressively.
Enormous misread of the situation by ENCE there. That was a colossal mistake. Kanto Raketti had perfect control of that bomb site, could have easily planted by the wall of that bearskin rug, and had the other member of ENCE that was remaining, watch over him. But Boonsy wasn't able to do it, and when he dropped down to try and assist Cantor, it was all too late.
Excuse me.
His own death through that window in trophy. ENCE could have very easily just zoned out the defenders and gotten a plant off.
Right, so now we're moving on to the next round, and this is where it begins. This is where the epic music starts playing. This is where ENCE finally realize, hey, let's win.
Absolutely crushing ENCE, and a lot of good words need to go towards Black Dragons because they have successfully drawn out.
Black Dragons are forcing again this Ying
Cautious ENCE that we saw get eliminated from LAN
and Glaz. So they really want to try and push this Ying Glaz comp really fucking far. They haven't really gotten a lot of use out of the Ying. They are using Ying predominantly for her smokes. So if that's the case, then why don't you use a Capitao or maybe even a Jackal to help with the Roma clears, so on and so forth. They're not getting a lot out of this Ying. Excuse me. So they're putting a bunch of reinforcements in library box upstairs. That's going to give them a little bit of an extended defense, and it's going to give Black Dragons a target to pursue, essentially. Is Psycho's sensitivity, like, what is this guy's sensitivity? It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, they're doing this extended defense. It's going to give Black Dragons a target to sort of pursue. It's going to waste time, which is the main reason for it. And they might get some picks, which is really good for ENCE if they get picks on these Black Dragon members. And vice versa for Black Dragons. However, here's a big problem. They're on the library balcony. Completely uncontested. And a wallbang comes out and kills Kanto, which is huge for Black Dragons right now. They don't realize that there's a second player in there. They might just believe that this is clear. But I think... Oh no, he's getting spam spotted. And Shate escapes death by proning or crouching just at the right time. And now Shate makes the right move to play differently. Good C4 gets the entry frag for his team. And now he trades it back for a 1v1. That's Ying down. Candela device is unusable, and now it's Shate versus the... In fact, Shate is going to jump outside. Really, really weird play that he made there. Panari comes up from behind though and picks off Wag, and that's huge. Hatches are still closed, and Wag is dead. So they have to go down the staircases, which is really, really fucking big. They did manage to get the corner hatch open, but I think that's about all they got. They definitely didn't get the bar hatch. So now it's a 3-on-3, 50 seconds, and Boonsy has all of his smokes, and he's in the wine cellar. So it all is up to where Black Dragons want to push. If they want to push bar, they can. They do have 2 routes into the bomb site. However, if they push wine cellar, it's going to be very difficult for Black Dragons because they only have 1 avenue of entry. So there's the first frag. Kamikaze gets Wilkie. Smokes come down, Ella device is going off, and Panari wastes key seconds of this round. As the rest of Black Dragons are dicking around, he starts spamming, and now Psycho knows exactly where he is, and he wastes time. He wasted 10 seconds and allowed Boonsy to get a frag. Kamikaze, not looking the right way, gets the next frag, and Julio has to hold the plant. Panari, even though he died, even though he traded nothing, he wasted in 15, 20 seconds left on the round, he wasted 10 of that. That's huge. That gives Boonsy the key position, the key requirements to win a clutch.
At very minimum, they were still able to get that diffuser down in time by the skin of their teeth. But as close as it got, ENCE could now start to mount a comeback. But Black Dragons has looked like a completely different team. One big thing to note, though, as well. Black Dragons have had some serious miscommunication issues. Yeah. First, it was Wag on the final round.
Oh, the Sense website is really out of date. The sensitivity or the pro player settings website is really out of date. Very, very out of date. That's over a year old, by the way, the pro settings. Over a year.
Wasn't necessarily just ENCE playing well, which they did, but also that there was just a hiccup in the way that they could.
All right, excuse me.
Yeah, a little bit of a hiccup. I mean, well, a big hiccup. You know, it was a mistake that ended up.
So here we go. ENCE are now mounting their historical, monumental comeback. And we'll have to see how they do it. So a spawn kill coming out from PZD. This is very uncommon. This could easily catch a player out. Fortunately for ENCE, no one spawned there. Could have been a completely different match if someone had spawned there.
There is going to be an attacking squad setting up to clear out the bar defense that we're seeing again. This is really interesting. Bar yet again from Black Dragons. I believe it did. Yeah, no, it did work out for them last time.
Kanto looking for the cams, and he does see a bunch of the cameras. He's pinging them out for his teammates. He's spotting, Jaeger devices and what have you. All the good stuff. And now here comes the flashbangs. And he's going to time it with a nade. Flashbang goes in, nade straight after. But there are two ADSs, so here comes the flashbang. Oh, and there's the team kill. There's the team kill. So Kanto goes for a reactionary pre-fire on the window breaking, but he is going to get WAG for his troubles. WAG there makes the dumbest mistake of the round and fucking runs out behind his mirror window and prones behind the bar. Really don't know why he did that. Big misplay, but Kanto's going to climb the ladder, and now they have top floor control. PZD is trapped. He's going to peek wide and get caught by Boonsy, and now we're in a 4 versus 3. It's looking real shaky for Black Dragons right now. So Black Dragons do have a roamer towards the master bedroom, and they have 2 on site. And the roamer does get the successful pick onto Panari, but he's going to drop into sandwich double doors and gets downed. So now it's a 2 versus 2. Now, Julio needs to play somewhere safe. He can't put himself in a position where he's going to get picked quickly. He needs to be able to be refragged if he goes down. Or he needs to make some kind of play and make some waves. If he's not making waves, if he's not making the move to try and get his team back on a 2-2 or a 2-1, the team will probably lose the round. But he gets droned out and doesn't even shoot the drone. Huge mistake. He's put himself in an unfavorable position where he is also unredeemable there. Now he has to sprint all the way around the map, and that is an angle and a half. That is an angle and a half. Because Julio is a 1-speed, he takes 2 years to rotate around. 31 seconds on the clock, 2 versus 1. Diffuser's going down. Kanto's looking up the hatch.
But Julio is going to need to hop outside. As Mira, he will likely be exposed, and he will be detected. They will now assume that he's going to go for the run out through the window, and that's where Wilkie is poised to strike. Instead, Julio hops back in.
Now, Kanto's playing this super passive. He's hiding inside what we call square. I don't know what other teams would call this, but we call that square. And he just needs to wait, because the diffuser is planted in a way that he can peek it. Nitro goes out, and Kanto peeks when he hears the rip of the Velcro. So the way that Julio could have won that clutch is that if he had never put himself into that position in the first place. So Julio could have ran back up the staircase. When he got droned out, he should have shot the drone and maybe challenged a player on the stairs, because shooting through the rungs of the staircase is quite difficult. That is not easy. So, and because he's got such a fast-firing gun versus what would have probably been Kanto with the 5.56 commando, he definitely could have won that gunfight just because of the speed of which the gun fires at.
They will take a mile, and it seems like they might actually be able to just secure this off of the momentum they gained from the first round win. However, again, still a lot. If they continue to kill
so, moving on to the next round, Black Dragons are running they're running a blitz again. So let's see how it goes for this time. So the first time they ran blitz, he entry fragged 3 people onto the B-bomb site on basement. So let's see if he's able to recreate some similar results. But with the setup that ENCE has, I'm going to question how much opportunity Julio's going to have to do that, because Chalet is full of long lines of sight. no matter how you play the map, you can always try and get yourself into a long line of sight where Blitz isn't really that useful in a long line of sight, because that pistol, you have to pray to the RNGesus to try and get a headshot on that thing with a hipfire. The recoil now obviously changed on him, makes Blitz a lot more viable than he was previously, and we're probably going to see a lot of Blitz coming into the next season of Pro League. Teams will probably start picking up Blitz and seeing, oh, what can we do with him, what can we try with him, blah blah blah. Black Dragons now drop in the Ying, obviously, for the Blitz instead. Blitz does come with 2 smoke grenades, so he does combo with Psycho's glass play. But we'll have to see. So right now, Black Dragons have positioned themselves pretty aggressively on these windows as the shield is now invisible. So where are the roamers? And it looks like we have a roamer below in gaming room, so we'll have to see if he goes undroned. I don't think Wilkie will go undroned if you're droning thoroughly. And that is it. It is just Wilkie as far as we can see. Could be some people in the basement. Never mind, Kanto is in the basement, and Wilkie's going to rotate to him too. So that's really good. So they've realized that there is a Blitz. And the way you beat a Blitz is to gang up on him. You need to set up crossfire, set up positions where you can just push him up. And here comes the drone patrol. And now they realize immediately, okay, they are in Wine Cellar. So they can position themselves in a way that Wine Cellar becomes a kill box for that Blitz, if the Blitz decides to push them. Shete with a whiffed C4 could have potentially gotten the kill onto Wag, but he's going to miss him anyway. Pre-fires through the floor, stops firing just before Blackbeard crosses his line of fire. PZD is going to push up close. Kanto's going to hear the camera go off, and PZD is going to see him. Going to hip fire through the wall, give his position away. Kanto's going to push aggressively on that because that's what Kanto does. And here comes the drone again. And Kanto's going to give it up. So PZD kind of threw away his chance to get a kill on Kanto. He could have positioned himself a better angle to try and spray through the wall. He could have gone around the corner behind himself and gotten a better pick. Psycho's going to get pick off Panari, going to down him at least, and that's going to be a first big pick. As the first smoke grenade comes out 15 seconds too early from Boonsy, definitely could have saved that. There is no one outside of his window right now, so he definitely had the opportunity to be safe. And there goes Shate. Shate's going to get picked off as well elsewhere on the map as he tries to go for some kind of flank or aggressive push. Panari's still down, so it is technically a 3 versus 5 with 20 seconds left on the clock. But hey, Kanto's upstairs. No one found Kanto, so Kanto's going to chill upstairs. And Boonsy's going to drop the diffuser, and that's going to be huge. Kanto just has to stop the diffuser. Shoots Julio on the back as well. Now the diffuser's down, 8 seconds left. Kanto, smart lad, he knows that he just needs to hide. Going to get his free pick onto Wag as well, and that's it. So Kanto was ignored. He snuck upstairs, used the attacker's holes against them. So what did Black Dragons do wrong? They gave up the flank watch. They gave up upstairs to push the bomb site early. They tried to do it too quickly.
He's the player who has stepped up and filled the void that was on ENCE. They needed somebody to just get the kills, make the plays, and establish the advantages. And there's a little bit of a belated applause.
And now it's trophy room again. So here we go once again. This time they're running something completely different. Julio's playing Legion, and now they have a Pulse instead of a Jaeger and what have you. It's all changing. They're changing up their operators so quickly and randomly between the rounds. It's almost like it doesn't really make too much sense in my mind. But we'll have to see what they do with it, because I'm not feeling this. This is Black Dragons is looking like how Penta looked in the previous game against Black Dragons. You know, it's almost like the roles have been reversed. Black Dragons aren't really making any play. They're not making any waves. They're not causing ENCE problems. ENCE are winning these rounds because of their mistakes. So Black Dragons really have to tighten up about what they're playing and how they're playing. Because, once again, they could just run the default setup that they ran against Penta with the 3 Nitro Capcan strat and get a lot more results, whilst ENCE aren't exactly looking to gun for Master Bedroom early into the round. They're definitely going to end up in Master Bedroom later on. And PZD goes down immediately by Kanto. Like, what was PZD doing there? Was he droning? Was he on cameras or something? Because PZD should have had the lead off pre-fire. Like, PZD was in a position of power there. Kanto peeked right into his line of fire, but nothing came from PZD, and it's a huge first pick. That's the Ella down. Like, whether she's got her mines down or not, it doesn't matter. The gun is nuts. It's a nutty gun off the board. Your opinion, Kanto was the best LAN performance? Kanto was, it's been proven. He has the statistics to show it. He was by far the most impact player out of any team at LAN. This was, whilst Boonsy had stellar performance throughout the entire thing, it was the Kanto show. As a good C4 doesn't go quite far enough by Kamikaze, it's okay, not a big deal. But that kill hole right there is going to allow Boonsy to tag cycle just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit of a love tap on the bum. Excuse me, sorry, just finishing off my bottle of water. So now, like, ENCE have absolutely all the control that they would ever need, and what is surprised, they have rotated up to the master bedroom. Like, at this point, your Nitro strategy would have come in handy. You could have gotten 1 or 2 kills at this point. Whilst Kanto's not exactly pushing too early, he's pushing now. You definitely could have gone for a later Nitro and gotten a lot more kills.
They're not really making great use of their vertical control just yet in this round, but there's still time. As the last minute comes down, and here comes said...
Excuse me, sorry.
Push.
So we'll have to see how Shate does an entry frag here. Obviously, the room is clear. He's just going to run inside. Doesn't matter if he's getting flashed by Wilkie. 40 seconds on the clock, and they have a solid control of the dining room at a 1-for-1 trade. And the rest of Black Dragons are all trapped in trophy. This is a nightmare scenario for Black Dragons. Match point or overtime point. And this is where shit gets real. And he gets taken down. That's the pulse off the board. Julio and Wag last alive. Wag's going to survive with a breath of HP. And Julio goes down, and it's Wag in a 1 versus 4 again.
Wag gets a kill. Can he clutch it out, though? 3 left. Wilkie's positioned on the window. Wag needs to drive through his line of sight. And if he does so with his life intact,
Kanto on the hatch with a pistol out because his gun's really low on ammo. He's going to spam. He's heard from his teammate. He's 1 HP. Literally breathing on him, kills him, and Kanto gets the kill.
Overtime from a deficit of 4.
And here we go into OT.
They answered Black Dragons 4 rounds in a row with their own 4 rounds in a row. It's very impressive, and I've never seen anything like it from them. It's just, we keep saying this, but this is not ENCE. This is a different team entirely. This is not our ENCE, and I hope that this is what we see in the future. But so for the first defending round of overtime, Kitchen Trophy coming out again, and ENCE change up the operator lineup again. Wilkie has changed his operator almost every single round. So now he's on a Twitch, and coincidentally, they are running a mirror. So this is really, really interesting. I think this is just by pure coincidence that now they have a huge counter to the mirror. Typically, these mirror devices are going to go upstairs because there's nowhere you can really put them downstairs. So you're going to see one there on the master balcony, facing a master bedroom corridor, facing to the master balcony. We're going to throw out a camera as well from the library. As I'm surprised that a drone from Kanto has managed to infiltrate the chimney side of master library. Beg pardon. And we'll have to see what ENCE want to do on this round, because there's a lot of options that they can do. Because the ball is technically in their court. You know, they're on a 4-win streak, or a 4-round win streak. They're on a huge momentum swing. They're probably singing every time they get kills. They're probably laughing when they die. We'll have to see how they want to play this one out. Obviously, there's a lot of cameras outside, so it's up to Kanto to try and find them. 3 players outside of the library, just where Wag is playing. You got a couple of players up, 3 players, beg pardon, up towards master bedroom. This is the strategy that Penta waned on. Penta lost this round hard when they attacked into the strategy. Kanto on top of the satellite tower.
It's going to hold that rotation hole, and Shate's going to bob and weave, trying to look for Wag. Wag is actually currently below him right now, but Wag has the opportunity to flank. No pressure being put onto the fireplace, so Wag, if he wanted to, could rotate to where Shate is right now, but I think he's too late. He could potentially pick off Shate if he plays this right, but he's going to play it passive instead. Typically, not how Black Dragons plays. And now the Twitch drone is going to completely harass Psycho, remove all of his odds and sods. The mirror windows open. Bandit and Kamikaze are trapped. And Shate's scared of a Roma below. So yeah, the hatch is open. The reason why he opens the hatch so early is just in case he dies. And there's the run out, and Kanto is waiting for it. There comes a Nitro from below. It's going to tag him a little bit, not too much though. What needs to happen now is that Black Dragons need to hold their fucking ground and get these frags. Wag runs away. Wag has to push though. Wag is playing too passive, and the rest of Black Dragons are not being aggressive enough. Like this is the entirety of Black Dragons. They're not being aggressive enough. They're losing the gunfights because they're just peeking into these common lines of sight. They're not playing it smart. They're not playing aggressively smart. They're not holding lines of sight. They're not holding angles. Like they're jumping out the building. It's so random and bizarre. And now it's all up to Julio. And he's dead. Like, it's so bizarre. The entirety of Black Dragons are just completely on different pages. They're completely on different pages. No one's doing things together. No one's timing things. Like, for example, when they're pushing up the library corridor, PCD on Elder could run out onto the office balcony and shoot outside, inside. But they don't. There's so many things that they could do in this situation, or Black Dragons could have done in that round differently. But they just sort of like, some of them just sat on site and did nothing, and some of them just played aggressively. Wag spent the entire round running away from a player who's on a drone. I mean, you're getting solo pushed by a player who's droning for himself, and you're running away from him. That's crazy. And here we go into the basement. Black Dragons running a Fuse and Glaz and Ying. So 3 unorthodox operators, so to speak. Ones we don't see too much. So obviously with this, they're probably going to try and get fireplace control, which is the room we're looking at right here. And open up the floor, destroy the floor, and they'll probably try and do a Ying smoke plant. I think that's pretty much their default strat in this one. Drones towards master bedroom, so it's probably going to be a master bedroom clear across the top of the map. We'll have to see how successful it is. Wink, wink, it isn't.
I would possibly, if I win this round as Black Dragons, I would possibly throw an ultimate curve wrench, and I'd go, or a wrench in their plan, a curve ball, a curve wrench, and I would go downstairs, which they haven't seen them do so far.
I mean, it would be pretty interesting.
So now we'll have to see how Black Dragons want to do this. So Black Dragons, the pressure is on. This is the Monka-esque moment for Black Dragons right now. They were 4-0 up, and now they're losing 5-4. 5 rounds on the trot. ENCE are on cloud 9. They are in high spirits. They are probably laughing their asses off. They are playing this really well. They are capitalizing on Black Dragon's mistakes, which is a huge part of why they're winning these rounds. And we'll have to see how they win this round, because this is the round, the key round. And Black Dragons are scared. They're playing with the drones. They are just droning things before they're pushing things. 1 minute in, and now they're finally in. They're finally in aggressively in the building. And now it looks like they're really focusing up on maybe doing a wine cellar push, which would be really, really bad. Because ENCE have a lot of setup to cover a wine cellar, so long with 3 people there too. So they have the man count, the body count, and the gadget count all stacked to wine cellar. So pushing wine cellar would be the worst decision that Black Dragons could do right now. But it looks like they're going to rotate to a bar attack, which is the right call. They don't have a thermite, so this is going to get real scary when it comes to later on round. Like at this point, like Wag should be using his last Habana charge on the wall outside. Like I don't know where he's used it at this point. And here comes the fusing as well.
Julio is going to go off. That is going to rain destruction down and push Shate away, but not able to get him out so far. Kanto waiting for Psycho.
And I don't understand how Kanto gets away with this. Kanto got past the drone. Kanto sees the gun barrel and he's going to get the first frag and he's going to run away immediately. The smart decision from Kanto. He's going to get refragged if he goes back there again. Or at least if he's there immediately again. And he's going to time this with the Ying Candelas. He's going to run away though, so he gets a bit lucky on the on that push there. He could have been picked off and somehow gets the next one. And I think Kanto plays a bit aggressively here. He pushes up really far. Wag gets the drop shot. Julio gets the shot through the floor as well. And now it's a 3-on-3. And the rest of the players here are all inside of Wine Cellar. Apart from Wilkie. Wilkie gets this kill. This is the most important kill. He drops the diffuser. So they have to turn around. If Wilkie did not get that kill, the round could have been a lot different.
As you can see here, ENCE incredibly happy. And the first win they've ever gotten from any LAN, having been to every single one of them. They are so deserving.
That is giving me an... Oh god, that is epilepsy in a nutshell right there. Holy fuck.
From the finals.
6 rounds in a row.
Yeah, there we go, boys.
Contested. You saw Wilkie tear up on stage, and I cannot imagine what is going to happen now. A very deserving team, every single LAN, and gone home empty-handed.